Welcome back to Silent Sales Machine Radio. We are your co-hosts. I'm Brian.
And I'm Robin Joy.
And this is Coach's Corner.
Hey, everybody.
How's it going today, Robin?
I'm having a great day, great week. It's just turning out to be much better than I expected.
You're looking super nice and summery today.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, you're looking nice too.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a great week. I mean, it's early part of the week for us, but
right.
Yeah.
But some things kind of came together for us over the weekend, and some exciting things are happening. So yeah, I mean, life is good. I love our life.
we are just living our best life right now. I gotta say, right?
Exactly.
So many things that are going on that are positive, and mostly because I think of a mindset shift, which is kind of the whole approach behind our whole the topic today that we're going to chat about. Yeah, is just maybe a little bit of perspective shift. You always say my superpower is perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, this is something that I've noticed a lot over the 31 years that we've been married. It is whenever I have an issue or a concern that you always have a different way of looking at it. And sometimes that just makes all the difference in the world. Well, and I think you do that for coaching clients as well.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that you noticed those things. Most of the time, it's just more of a self-preservation thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I mean, like, when things aren't great, I'm like, okay, I got to look at this another way because, right?
Oh, okay. You're not because you're worried about getting killed if I...
No, not at all.
Okay, good. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got a few things to dive into today. I just want to make sure that we've got plenty of time to discuss them all. So let's jump right in.
Okay.
Okay. The first one, I want to maybe contrast this this prevailing thought that seems to be pretty rampant amongst successful business owners, right? And I mean rampant in a good way, because I think it helps set the stage a lot of times for what people should expect. But I think if we just, twist our perspective a little bit or change our perspective, it can be completely different.
Just look at it from a different angle.
A different angle, right? And that specific thing is that if it's going to work for you, in order for you to find success, that you have to work hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hard.
Work hard.
Yeah.
Not just that it's a hard thing to do, that you have to work hard, whether the work is hard or not. You have to struggle and suffer.
And toil.
Yeah.
And
it makes me think of the Black Death in Europe, right? Oh. And the people would walk down the street and flog themselves because they thought that this was all happening because they had sinned and they had not paid enough, they hadn't done enough penance, and so they flogged themselves until they were bleeding and walking down the street, just suffering on purpose. This is what I see people do sometimes when they're working with us, is they feel like they have to suffer more. That wasn't hard enough.
Yeah.
That wasn't hard enough.
Right. And if it's not hard enough,
then it must not work.
Then you must not be doing it right.
Right.
Right? Well, not to get too far ahead, but yeah, and I've called it out here even on this podcast. I said, look, this is a numbers game. Not only numbers of like ASINs you have to look at and tests you have to send and replenishables that you have in your catalog or your portfolio, but also how long you've been doing it. Like the people who have been doing this for 5, 6, 7 years, they have a huge advantage, mostly mindset. Not like it's still, this business is still 100% available for anyone who wants to come in and learn how to do it. Yeah. It's the whole learning how to do it that seems like hard work a lot of times.
I remember a couple years ago at the Proven Conference when the keynote speaker was Daniel Lappin. And he said this in his keynote speech, something to this, I'm going to misquote, just going to summarize what he said though. What I got out of it was, if you really don't believe what you're doing is going to work, it's probably not going to work.
Yeah.
No matter how hard you work.
Yeah.
And as you make progress, you build that belief and you realize, oh, this is going to work. Oh, okay, I'm on a path now and I see the progress. In the beginning, that's difficult to see, but you got to get there. And those people that you're comparing yourself to in that scenario that you were talking about, they're, $7 million sellers, you're not there yet. that's okay. That doesn't mean you're not going to get there. They didn't get there overnight either.
Yeah, I've done it. I've said multiple things on here that contrast or that are in direct conflict with each other. One of them is that, you need to work longer than people. The longer you work, the higher your success rate is going to be. In other words, the more time, not the harder. I'm not sure I ever said the harder, but I have said embrace the suck before.
Yeah,
and
sure.
And I think I've also said find a way to fall in love with it, right?
Yes.
And those are that's the same coin, right? Two sides of the same coin.
I think so. I think you're absolutely right. And while you're on that, I'm going to go off script just a little bit here.
Now I got her going off script.
I do find that a lot of people come to me and say, we talk about, did you put in the hours that you said you were going to put in? Because if you come to me and you say, I say, how many hours you put in? And you say 5. Then and you had committed to 15 and you're disappointed because you didn't get those results. I'm going to go back and say, you don't get 15 hours worth of results out of 5. However, talk about the other side of the coin. I have people who come and say, well, I plan to work 5 hours on this. And I kept working. I wanted to do more. And then I worked 15 hours and now I'm exhausted and nothing's turned out.
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't plan to work 15 hours. You planned to work 5 hours. It's okay to be done after 5 hours if that was a plan. If you planned to look at 1,000 viable ASINs and you looked at 5,000, you didn't have to. You could stop at 1,000 and you can enjoy your life while you're doing this. Yes, you have to have an intense, focused effort and you have to do more now than you will have to in the future, but you don't have to kill yourself.
Right. You don't have to, at the expense of everything else in your life, do this.
Because it's going to be no good. Then you have no life when you find success. And what are you doing it for?
Well, I think this is maybe something we can dive into. This is a little bit off script too, but I think a lot of people come into an e-commerce business and they think that it's going to be something that they're going to hit the ground running and see immediate results. And maybe this is not a lifetime commitment. I think if you approach it from the other perspective, if it's going to be a lifetime commitment for you, or at least a 10-year commitment for you, then you're not going to kill yourself in the first month of that, right?
Right. It is going to require much more time and effort in that first 6, 9, 12 months.
It does.
Than it does any time after that.
But it's not a race.
And you still don't have to kill yourself. Make your plan for how much you're going to put in there. When you are on time, make sure you're doing the things you plan to do when you're on work time. And then allow yourself to be done. We need rest as well.
Yeah, right. You have to be able to recharge. Well, it just kind of goes against the grain of a lot of things that the Hormozis and the Martells say, which is like, oh, you got to... if you're going to be an entrepreneur, man, you got to suffer. You're going to work for a long...
You're going to lose all your friends.
You're going to lose...
You got to be a horrible person to everyone you know and... Yeah, give up your family and... Yeah, I'm sure that's not exactly what those guys are saying.
It comes across that way
it
sometimes,
does sometimes,
right?
and I do hear things like that. Yeah.
And if you're not succeeding yet... that must mean that you haven't suffered enough.
Enough.
You haven't paid the penance.
Right.
You haven't exchanged the penance for success, like the people you were talking about in the Black Death situation. We're trying to exchange the self.
If I just make myself suffer enough, then maybe I won't die, and maybe my family won't die.
Maybe we can keep.
And we know now.
Yeah.
Black Death had nothing to do with how many times somebody sinned.
Yeah.
It had to do with things that they couldn't see. And it was difficult to believe that there was something that they couldn't see.
Yeah.
They had no idea what it was. So I asked myself, what is it that that's just a flea on a rat? I just can't identify yet.
Interesting.
That is making me think I have to work so hard, or I have to do something. I have to do something to make this different when I haven't even figured out what it was that was affecting me.
Well, I mean, let's be fair. Even in this business, there are things that are true, right? The narrative's not completely useless.
Right. Agree.
When you're learning, doing anything requires time.
Yeah.
Okay? Right? Even though time is a construct. right? Requires
Yeah,
time.
how far are you going to go with this, Brian?
And effort, yeah. Learning curves are real, especially
Yes,
when
they
we're
are.
first coming into this business, and it can definitely be uncomfortable,
Oh, yeah.
right?
And exclude some other things that we would do if we didn't have to spend a little more time on this in the front, right?
That's right. Mostly like Netflix time,
Sure.
right? Potentially, I mean, what was I giving up when I first came home to start this business? And then let's talk about what you gave up.
Well, we both have made a whole lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's right. What did we give up? What did we give up? We gave up our dream house,
Oh, yeah.
right? I also gave up a 3-hour round trip commute.
Yeah.
So that was a good
We found later that wasn't really our dream at all.
that house. I know. Yeah. Up to that point, it was our dream house.
We thought
And then,
all our lives that's what we wanted, but that wasn't what gave us what we wanted.
yeah.
So I gave up the security of my job
Oh, yeah.
eventually. You gave up first, though. You came home every night, put in 3 hours every night. Now, I think you'll admit, and you've told me since then, that all of those 3 hours every night weren't always intensely focused. Otherwise, it would have moved faster. But I think we can
100%.
all relate to that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's after work. I'm already exhausted from everything I had to do at work today. And this is the only time I can do it. I don't have time to spend with my family that I would have spent with my family. Doesn't mean you don't have time to spend with your family.
Yeah.
You've chosen these hours
Right.
and worked it out, hopefully, with your family. And you did. And you still have to force yourself to focus during the time you've chosen. But if you do, and you know that you don't have to just work as long as you can, then, yeah, sometimes it's easier. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say of course, I was distracted. I was not focused because the things that I was instructed to focus on, and I say instructed, you had
a coach.
The going theme and what my coach was telling me seemed way too simple. I'm like, wait. So you're saying all I got to do is look through Home Depot and see if those products are on Amazon and pay attention to the ones that I can buy low and sell high? That's it? Like, that seems too easy.
That's the gist.
That's pretty much it.
Well,
I mean,
yeah. Now you're going to have to look through a lot of them.
You have to do that a lot.
You're going to have
to do that a lot.
Do a lot of that.
Yeah.
But it's pretty simple.
Yeah. It's a
It's
simple.
not easy to get yourself to do hour after hour.
That was the challenge.
But
So
it is
then I'm
simple.
like, well, if I do more.
It's got to be a way more sophisticated way to do this.
I'm going to jump ahead a little bit.
Okay.
I'm foreshadowing the next topic, I guess.
Okay.
I thought, well, if I do more things, then I will have better chance of success. So therefore, I stopped just focusing on the one thing and I started adding all these other things in there, right? Thinking, well, because if this works, then I'll just stack it 6 deep and I'll make all these things work, right?
And then you got 6 things that were barely started and you didn't know where you were going next.
6 cups with a tiny bit of water in each one instead of 1 full cup.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Yes. That was exactly
and that
how it ended up.
evaporates really fast when there's just a tiny bit in the bottom.
So I think this is a construct, this idea that you have to work hard in order to deserve something. And it's not that work hard is not that you don't have to work hard, but it needs to be suffering work. And it needs to be self-flagellation. And it needs to be all these things that are like, in order for you to exchange that for success.
Yes.
Right?
So I think that's a great point, Brian. And I hope that people through this can see that they don't have to suffer. They just have to do the work, do the tasks that were planned.
When I was discussing this with you a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I'm really having a hard time reconciling this whole this word deserve.
Yeah,
right?
It's a tough one for me too.
And I was like, deserve. What does deserve mean? And it took me back to when I was a kid, and I was like, 14, 15 years old. I like to think I was pretty high achieving, right? And one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to run the Pikes Peak Marathon. So Pikes Peak, the mountain in my hometown, America's mountain, right? It's a 14,000 foot peak. And of course, it's not that bad because you start at 8,000 feet or whatever, right? So you're only going up, 8,000 feet.
Half that much.
Yeah. Oh, it's only 8,000 feet.
It's only 8,000 feet. Yeah. Yes.
Well, I was pretty active. I would participated in all the sports, and I was a runner. I got to go be an official at the U.S. track and field trials, which was held at the United States Air Force Academy
For the Olympics.
For the Olympics, 1984.
Yes.
I did this.
Yes.
Right. I saw Carl Johnson.
Back in the
not Carl Johnson. Carl Lewis in person. and Moses, the guy who ran the hurdles. I can't come up with his name right now.
I almost said it. Anyway.
But anyway, it was like I thought that I was going to be one of these people. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now I knew my legs weren't that long. Even then,
I was just thinking everybody who's listening and has met you is going, "Yeah, right, Brian."
So anyway, I tell my parents, "Hey, I heard about this thing called the Pikes Peak Marathon, and I want to do it." Mm-hmm. And my parents pretty much sat me down and said, "Son, this is way harder than you think. You're never going to be able to do this. It requires so much."
Just dampened those expectations.
So much preparation, success, toil, self, not harm, but you know what I mean? You're going to, you really got it, self-sacrifice. You really have to sacrifice if you want to pull this off.
They pretty much talked you out of it.
They talked me out of it. And I was young enough that of course, they're my parents. I listened to almost everything they say.
Right.
Almost.
They were not bad parents.
No, not at all.
This is just what parents do, especially from our generation.
They didn't want me to keel over on the side of the trail.
Right. And they didn't want you to be disappointed.
That's the biggest thing, right? They didn't want me to be disappointed. That in itself.
Out of love for you.
Yes. Out of love for you, son, let me save you some disappointment by not letting you.
That's what I'm saying. They weren't wrong, do this. But you have to deal with this now.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Well, this just sort of feeds into this model that I was calling a construct early on that my parents drilled into me, and I'm pretty sure your parents drilled into you, and those of our generation, we probably heard it. I think generations subsequent, maybe less and less and less over time.
Sure.
Right? But this idea that you have to work hard now, you have to sacrifice today so that you can enjoy it later.
Mm-hmm. Well, unfortunately, I see a lot of people who keep sacrificing and they never come to later.
Yeah, exactly.
Not unlike your parents is a good example.
Well, I was actually going to tell that story if you're okay with it.
Yeah, go ahead. I might have gotten ahead.
No, you're good. I just, since I brought it up, this conversation with my parents, I thought, well, I go ahead and tell the story too, which is this, right? I know you got to sacrifice. You got to do delayed gratification. You got to do these things so that you can enjoy life later. And here's what I observed with my parents. Okay. When I was 32 years old, my mother died at the age of 50. Okay. Suddenly. Yeah. Out of the blue died.
Right.
And to that point, my parents had spent their whole lives doing the sacrifice, toil, suffer, all that to enjoy life later. And there was never...
And your dad had just
My dad just retired like 5 months before my mom died. They took one trip and then, boom, it was over. And they never got to the later part.
Right.
And I know you remember this because I had this very vivid moment in my life. And what was it that you remember about that?
Oh, gosh.
I mean, the post, the reflection of that.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. I remember that you came to me during that time, like that week that your mother had passed, just a week ago. And you said, we're not doing this. We're not going to wait for some day. We're going to celebrate now what we can, and then we're going to keep, making new things that we can celebrate in the future. So the delayed gratification doesn't go away. It just allows you to appreciate the things that you have accomplished. And we went on one of the best trips ever. We went on a 10-day trip. We went to golf school in Florida. We went on a first time to Disney World. We went on our first cruise. It was an amazing trip in honor of your parents and what they missed out on. And we learned at that point that, yes, you have to work now to get things later. But when you get those things, go ahead and celebrate them as you go along. Those accomplishments and that progression. You can celebrate progression.
it's one of the reasons I think you brought to this community the celebrate the wins, celebrate the small wins, celebrate, do a dance, have a party. I mean, a party in your head or whatever, but
we got a text from somebody just recently that said, "Hey, I'm working hard, but is it okay if I do a little dance around the living room if I just had my first sales?"
Yes.
And we're like, "Oh yeah, we're dancing with you. And we're going to celebrate with you anytime you tell us stuff like that. We are going to do a dance because we love to celebrate. We don't do this because we don't want to celebrate it. We do this because we do want to celebrate. And then we get those celebrations in. Now, you celebrate, you stop, and you get back to work and find something else to celebrate for. But do those celebrations in between.
Yeah, go do something else that you can find a way to celebrate.
Yeah.
You can celebrate. Well, I mean, that model of the, you got to work hard now, you got to self-sacrifice, you need to delay gratification. If you've been brought up that way, I know this for me and for you.
A lot of us probably to some degree.
It goes deep. I mean, if you think about all the things that are associated with that, like guilt, pressure, and the sort of if you're not achieving success, it's because you haven't suffered enough, right? Sort of
because you mentality. Believe it too. Because you do,
that. You do believe it. It's wired. It's deep in you, right?
Yeah.
You were brought up this way. It's part of your operating system.
Exactly. Not easy to change things like that.
It is not easy to change that. But let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can work on maybe changing that operating system a little bit.
Let's suffer.
All right?
Let's continue to work hard, but maybe suffer just a little less over it.
And find a way to enjoy the gratification today. Not a lifetime of gratification.
Yeah, you're allowed to pat yourself on the back and say, I did what I planned to do today, and I'm a good person. I can now go rest.
I didn't look up the definition of gratification, but I mean, I think we both can kind of speak to what it means, which is the rewards that you will get later, right? If it's delayed gratification. But there's also rewards that you can take in every day.
Every day.
Right? And in every moment. And so here's what I want to throw out there. What if the exchange doesn't have to be between like suffering and success or toiling and success or hard work and success? But really it comes down to the exchange between resistance and allowance or resistance and belief. I think belief is maybe the first thing that starts to peel back the resistance and provide for allowance. These are words I'm like, allowance. What does this mean?
Right, sure.
Allow it to be something that you can enjoy. Allow it to be something that you're okay with. Allow it to be something that you can embrace.
That you can love and appreciate.
Yeah. As opposed to resisting it. Because what if it comes into your space as this is hard work, doesn't hard work, even for those people who maybe enjoy doing hard work, doesn't it almost seem like it's a resistance? Hard work. It's built into the phrase, right? Hard work. Hard and work. It's the same word, right?
Exactly. You're not wrong. I'm buying it. Yeah. Hard work does not have to be suffering work, I think is what I'm getting out of this. And the suffering, the hating, the feeling bad about it doesn't have to be. No, nobody said that had to be when you had hard work to do.
So even this period of intense focus effort that we talk about, we're going to bring this to the Amazon space, I promise. In this, maybe this is the beginning of that. This idea of this period of intense focus effort doesn't mean it has to stink and toil and you have to not like it. You can absolutely embrace it and be gratified along the way.
I find in working with people one-on-one especially, that those who start saying, oh, look, some more brands opened up to me this week. Oh, look, I got some sales. Oh, look, I got some profit on this one. Oh, look, I got my first check from Amazon. When they're looking for those things, they progress much faster than people who are like, well, this roadblock came up this week. I had this one ASIN out of my 30 ASINs that became a little difficult, and I'm not sure what to do about it, and that's the only thing I can see. I can't see the 29 that did well this week or that I don't know yet. I can only see the one. It's like when I was younger, I was in this class of people have probably seen this illustration where they have a big whiteboard, and they put a tiny black dot with a pen in the middle. And they ask everybody, what's there? And they say a black dot. They didn't see any of the huge, 8 by 10 white board that they put the black dot on.
Uh-huh.
So I think this is what we're saying when we're saying resistance. Don't hone in on the things that don't work.
Yeah.
Allow them to be part. That doesn't mean you don't have to address it.
Yeah.
Allow it to be part of the larger picture that is working or is going to work.
Yeah, I think if you hone in on the things that are working, we've said before, or I've heard it a million times, what you focus on, you create more
Sure,
of, or
absolutely.
where you put your attention, you'll see more of that.
Uh-huh.
Then you can allow these other things that aren't necessarily the, right down the middle, a home run ball for you, to exist.
Exactly. I think that's exactly true.
Well, so let's bring this back to the Amazon coaching, since this is technically Coach's Corner.
Yes, it is.
The first few weeks, potentially months, you have said a lot lately, front loaded, right?
Front loaded. Mm-hmm. So the things that I have to do now, I'm not always going to have to do those. This is how I feel about a diet. All right, you guys, anybody who's looking at me right now knows that I don't necessarily do so well with diets. Okay, but what happens when I'm looking at changing my eating habits is I see all these people who they powered through and now they would not, eat that if they could, and they only eat these healthy things and that's all there is to it. And all I see is if I go on this diet or if I change my eating habits, I will never again in my life be able to eat a piece of chocolate cake. And that makes me sad. It doesn't make me want to do it at all. But what is true in this business, this is what one of the perspectives we get when we're new and this is great, I've got a plan, we're going to do this. And then we get in and start doing the work and we realize what it's going to take. Then we go, this is taking quite a bit of my time and effort right now. And I think I'm never going to have a life again if I do this. We got to separate that from what you have to do today so that you don't have to in the future. That part of delayed gratification, you are building and working it to a point where you don't have to keep your hands on it all the time.
Okay, so I want to come back to this because you said something there, and this is totally off script. Okay?
I know, we just started.
Is your feeling about this, and this is not meant to be a psychoanalysis session, but I am curious if it has anything to do with being an ex-smoker. Because as an ex-smoker, you can never go back, right? I mean, you could, but then you open up a whole can of worms,
I have gone
right?
back.
Yes. Well, you did.
So I am the ex-smoker in this. I have not had a cigarette since 2015. But that was a thing. I quit smoking many, many, many times over the years.
Yep.
And I really did. I quit. And then I started again many, many, many times. But I never quit quitting.
That's right. That's what you always say.
And finally, if I'd quitting the time before that, and I said, okay, I'm never going to try to quit again, I wouldn't have gotten to the next step where it actually worked for me. I was actually able to do it. And there's a lot around that, but that's the gist of it. I just had to get to the point where I was done quitting and just quit.
This reminds me of, and congratulations, by the way.
Thank you very much.
This reminds me of how many businesses did we do that didn't work?
Gosh.
And we kept trying, and here we are.
Yeah.
Right? This is our longest running success to date.
If we had not started trying again or kept trying.
And we did quit.
We did. If we hadn't started again, we wouldn't have found what we have now.
And, this is what happened. We moved into the dream house.
Yep.
Okay. And we had
very
both
comfortable.
Recently had promotions in our jobs. And we're like.
We had 2 adorable little doggies.
We had everything that we worked our lives for. We had everything that we'd set up.
The grandkids were coming. We had a place for them to stay. We had the greatest house. We had a pool table. We had all kinds of things.
Yeah. And so then reality set in, and we're like, because I was 50 at that time. Okay. Just made it past where my mom did, right?
Right.
I'm like, okay, so I got 40 more years and this is it?
Yeah.
I did, for a lot of, that just didn't work for me. It just didn't work for me. I know it didn't work for you.
It did not.
Right?
It did not. And I'm older than you, so.
Yeah. So we're like, nope. Okay. That was the one thing. Actually getting what we had, achieving what we'd set out to achieve in terms of the things in our life was the one thing that made us uncomfortable enough to keep going.
And I'm not disappointed about that.
No, not at all.
I pat ourselves on the back for where we came from to that home.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I count that as one of the great achievements of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought I was going to want when I got there was to relax and let life go on.
Mm-hmm.
What I found was, we're not really that kind of people.
Yeah. Okay, so now back on track here.
Okay.
The other thing I like to call out is this front-loaded thing.
Yeah.
There is this sort of quiet period that it seems quiet in terms of the results that you're getting from Amazon. It's not quiet on your side as the business
you're doing
owner,
a lot of activity.
You are doing a lot. You're just not getting a lot of feedback. Right? And so it feels quiet.
Mm-hmm.
So the quiet period, the front-loaded period is what happens. And this is when we tend to see people struggle the most.
Right. Yeah. And it is difficult at that time because there's not a lot of feedback.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
So if we can just, again, tweak the perspective on this a little bit, where it doesn't have to be hard work. It doesn't have to be work that you don't enjoy doing. It doesn't have to be a sacrifice.
It doesn't have to be complicated.
If everything that you do, so every sourcing trip that you take, every box that you pack, every time you go to the store, look at a keep it chart, whatever, if you can view that as you're taxiing down the runway, this is what's this part of your taxiing down the runway to your inevitable takeoff.
Yes. You don't taxi down the runway because you're not going to take off at the end of the runway.
That's
Before hopefully the end of the runway. Yes.
When you're taxiing out there to the runway and then the pilot punches the jet fuel, puts the pedal to the metal, as it were.
Go.
Their plan is not to abort.
Right. Whatever it takes, they're going.
And if you're a passenger on that plane, takeoff is inevitable.
Right. There's
so the
never a
pilot's
question.
Takeoff is inevitable. Yeah.
There's never a question in my mind that plane is going to build up enough power and inertia to get off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it still has to do it.
Yep.
It still has to happen.
Yeah.
That's why we play the game, right?
Yeah. Well, so this is the sort of mindset shift I am hopefully trying to impart, which is this. We're not hustling over here doing the side hustle because of scarcity that exists in our life. We're actually moving with a sense of inevitability. And what really brought this home for me was this. I've heard it before, but I'm going to give credit to Dan Martell for this, where he said, I've had a conversation with someone. How would you act? You know, how much money do you have in your bank account now? Oh, virtually nothing. Great. I need you to go build this business. Well, I don't have the money. I don't know. All these things are unsure. I don't know how this is going to go. Okay. If you had $5 million in the bank account right now, how would that change your approach? Mm-hmm. Well, that was a bit of a light bulb moment for me, where I'm like, oh, well, I would approach it completely differently.
Of course you would.
If I knew what the end result was going to be, if I was going to have
confident, yes,
that $5 million was in the bank, then I'm going to move with a different motion.
Exactly.
And it's going to be from a place of confidence. Mm-hmm. It's going to be from a place of assurance. It's going to be from a place of
abundance,
not scarcity. Right. And so that is kind of this perspective shift that I'm trying to maybe share with more people, because I think it's really powerful.
I think so too. I think it's very important that we distinguish between hard work and suffering.
So just a couple of things to maybe solidify this point would be what we hear is, well, I hope this starts to pay off sometime. I hope this pays off one day.
Yeah.
Right? What if it was like, if you knew that money was already in the bank, if you knew you were going to take off, right, your inevitable takeoff, then it's not that at all. It's, well, of course, this is happening. This is why I'm doing this, because this is happening.
Yeah, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think this was going to happen.
Right. But we are as humans, we're in this short term, like, I expect to do something and get feedback. Do something, get feedback. And if I don't start getting that feedback timely, and if that feedback is not positive timely, then I'm out.
Well, this is what happens. This is what we learn when we get a job, right? we learned that I have to do certain things in order to receive certain things. So I do this work and I do it well, and then I get paid at the end of the week. Every week, whether I do well or not, I do the work, I get paid.
Yes.
And if I get feedback that's negative, then I know where to correct, because I have the people who are controlling my time are also controlling my paycheck. And when I give that up to control my own time and control my own paycheck, or spend a portion of my life that is not in that world, I have to be the one who's responsible for getting me paid and understands where this money comes from. And then you have to build it. Those people who hired you did not start with, all the money and abilities and pockets that they have that they're paying you with right now.
Yeah.
You're not going to start there either.
Right. So I'm gonna try and do something here on the fly that I hadn't really thought about. So we'll see how this comes out. So that little exercise that we just went through, that I pointed out, we do the work, we want feedback. We do the work, we want feedback. And if that feedback's not positive, then we're going to quit.
Yeah.
This speaks to the concept of delayed gratification.
Yes.
Especially in the Amazon business, because we do have to do the work and we're not getting feedback.
Yeah. For a while.
Right. But what if you don't have to delay the gratification? Because aren't you approaching everything differently when you know that it's going to work? It's not that you have to delay being happy. You can be happy right now because, everything that you're doing is part of this journey that is success.
Right. You can't spend money you don't have, but you can certainly have a celebration do a little dance around the living room if you made a sale. Absolutely.
When you think about money's such a charged word, right?
Yes.
It's really not. This is one thing I've had to come to grips with over the past 10 years or so, is that, and maybe more so over the last 5 years, is it's not the money.
It's not the money.
It's not the money. It's the feeling that the money would get me.
The things that the money will do for me.
It's not even the things. Maybe the things
the feeling I have when I can do those things or have those things.
And for me, it boils, and I think we've discussed this and we're on the same page. It's not even the things. It's not the money. It's not the things. It's the feeling of calm, peace, the joy that I'll have with $20 million in the bank. Okay. How would you feel? I'm asking you, the listener, how would you feel right now if there were $20 million in your bank account?
What would you do differently?
I can tell you the first thing, you're not going to just run out and buy a new couch, right?
No.
You're going to go, holy smokes, you mean I never have to work a day in my life again if I don't want to? You mean I can spend this time that I was doing all these other things with my family? You mean I can make people happy? You mean I can inspire other people? Because I don't have to worry about that anymore? Well, that feeling is what we're really going after here. It's not the money.
The removal of the burden.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure if I really got where I was trying to go there, but that really is the feeling of the burden being lifted. Yeah, no burden.
You don't have to carry it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you knew that there was $20 million in the bank, or you knew at the end of a certain amount of time that you were going to get that, wouldn't you approach everything that you did completely differently? This is what I'm trying to say.
If you knew it was inevitable.
If you knew it was inevitable. If it were inevitable, everything that you did you would enjoy. Is my argument.
Yeah, we do.
We try to, right?
We do.
We are doing it more and more. That's kind of what we're going after here.
All right. So if I say, maybe I'll earn it if I suffer more. How should I be thinking of that?
Well, maybe you can think of it like I'm becoming the person who has it now. That's what I was just maybe trying to explain.
Yeah.
Oh, I can act like that now. I can enjoy.
Yes, because I am inevitably going to become that person. I'm already starting to become that person.
One of the things that you say that I don't think gets enough credit is you'll only get to experience this once.
True.
Okay? And this is the part of the growth of your business or the journey that you're on with Amazon. You only get to find your first ASIN once.
Yeah.
Right? You only get your $1,000 a day, your first $1,000 a day once.
Yes, exactly. You only get your first sale One time.
Your first proven Amazon course only happens one time.
Yeah.
Proven conference.
Proven conference.
Yeah,
Yes.
proven conference. Yeah.
Yeah. Your eyes are only opened to that one thing where you go, oh.
And so this
one
is
time.
why I want to be present, and we should all
Yes.
be present. I think,
Agreed.
in all of these experiences, because they only happen once. The first time, one time, right?
That's right.
So,
And as much as it may feel like it didn't give you what you wanted, or it wasn't, you still have more of that to do. Trust me, you're going to think back and say, wow, I wish I could have a day like that again.
yeah.
Right? So don't miss it.
So build those days.
Build
those
one
days.
on top of the other.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Incremental.
All right. So I just want to say, we were talking about, resistance and allowance and belief and action. When belief and action work together, then you're not hustling out of scarcity. You're moving with inevitability. And this is the place where I love to get all of our coaching clients to, right? It's the belief. And the other thing, that this is not a sprint, right? Everyone wants to, they want results now.
Yes.
And I'm like, hold on a second. This is a commitment that we're making here, right?
Yes.
It's not.
I want what that person on the podcast said they got in 4 months, and I've been doing it for 4 weeks. So
Yes.
how come I don't have it?
Right. And so we are constantly resetting expectations, right? You can have everything that you want from this business. And if you choose to do it, it's inevitable.
Agreed.
Okay. If you choose to do it and you're committed and you work with consistency, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. So take a breath. It doesn't need to happen in your first month, right?
Exactly.
It will happen.
Exactly.
Right. You will see. So if you're, stop and smell the roses along the way, even during that first month, right?
You can keep on walking and smell the roses.
Yeah. You're not. Oh, and here's the other thing.
Especially if you put yourself amongst roses.
Right. I said earlier, the whole deserve word,
Yes.
right? Deserve. There's another thing here. Like we were talking about, I don't deserve it yet because I haven't worked hard enough. I haven't toiled enough. I haven't spent enough time away from my family. I haven't missed enough of my kids' childhood yet to be successful, right? I haven't spent enough time away from my wife or whatever it may be. So
I haven't defended myself enough to my friends.
I just say you don't need to wait to be worthy. It's not a worthiness,
Right.
right? It's not a deserve. You're not grinding so that you can, get permission for success. If you're aligning your belief with that behavior, then this is what's going to compound you forward. Because if you're moving with the motion that it's inevitable, then it is inevitable. And that's the mindset shift that for most people, I think that they need, is like, oh, and this is why when people start to get results, they start to get that feedback. We see them sort of ramp up even after that, right? They come in on a high and, well, Hormozy draws this, trough of disillusionment and all this kind of stuff that happens. And then this is what happens. I mean, we lose so many people.
You find out that it's going to take a lot more of your efforts and focus than you realize. I don't think people mind giving up the time or even the money. It's the focus that it takes that becomes very difficult for them to get used to. Being the new guy.
Well, it is one of those things that, in the corporate world, we say you're doing it off the side of your desk, right? It's not your official job.
Right.
It's not in your job description anywhere, but you're doing it.
And if something suffers, it's going to be that.
It's going to be that, which is what we do when it's a side hustle, right? The side hustle is off the side of your desk, and if anything is going to suffer, it's going to be that. But until, and I've said this before too, until you call in sick to your day job, but you don't call in sick to Amazon, it's probably never going to get, be as high on the priority list
right?
as it needs to be for it to be your full-time thing.
Exactly. You're in control here.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So if you're doing Amazon, if you're here trying to figure
Using
things
Amazon
out
as your vehicle,
then don't kill the dream or, your belief by wrapping everything that you're doing here in punishment.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good way to kill a dream.
Right?
Oh, I must suffer.
I must
more.
suffer for
I must
this, yes.
punish myself.
Yeah.
I must deny myself. Yeah.
I must delay the gratification. Find something to be gratified about in the process that you're
Right.
going through now, right?
Exactly.
Let your belief be the fuel, not just the fear for why, not just fear be the fuel for why you're doing this.
Right.
Right.
Right. Fear's not a good motivator.
So
Fear will motivate. It's probably
Yeah.
the strongest motivator,
for life or death. Yeah.
but it's not the best way to find motivation.
And here's what I was trying to say a minute ago. I think I got it
Okay.
in better words now. When you move with inevitability, it's inevitable. It's happened, right? Then you start to act like the person who already has what they're building toward.
Yes.
And that's the momentum that you're looking for. When those two things happen, when you can act like the person who already has what you're trying to get, that's when momentum kicks in.
And what would you do if you really believed that this was working?
That's what those are some questions I thought we'd bring up here at the end. And I think these are really more for the audience, right?
Yeah.
And
That's what I'm asking.
Okay.
I know you think you believe, but if you really believed this was working, you would probably do some different things. So take a look at what you really think is going to happen here. Are you believing it? Is it true? Because you decided to believe isn't necessarily all you need, but action will build that belief. When you build something, then you can see the progress, and that will build the belief. That's how belief is built.
Yeah.
But you got to take that action.
So what would you change if you believed that was already working? How would you approach things differently? But maybe on the flip side of that, what part of the work that you're doing right now that feels like a punishment do you think you deserve? Right?
Yeah.
What's deserving? Like what's so hard? What makes it stink so bad that you feel like you have to deserve it?
Yeah.
And maybe change your approach on those things.
Yeah.
Oh, just a real quick exercise or story here from a real coaching client who, I don't know, 3 weeks ago said, I just can't find anything. I can't find anything. Can't find anything. And it was one of those, I was like, take a breath.
Yeah.
Right. We're not out to win the race
Right.
in our first week or 2 weeks. Right.
Yeah.
This is
This is normal.
This is absolutely normal. I know how you feel. Felt the same way. So did thousands of other people. Right. Today. Actually, over the last 2 days.
This is someone who said this 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, probably sent me 20 items that he's just sourced over the last 2 days. What about this one? Is this good? Oh, yeah, that's good. What about this one? Is that good? That is really good. That's a great one. And all of a sudden, gone from nothing to now is when the belief really kicks in. Right?
Because he can see, I see what I'm looking for.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened to me, too. Like the very first one I found, I was like, light bulb moment. Now I know what I'm looking for. And, it was a very narrow path in the beginning, which has become wider over the years. But that's what will happen for you, too. So when you find that first success, build off of that, leverage it.
Yes. Yep. You don't have to suffer more. You just have to keep on keeping on.
Yep.
All right. Do you have a quote for us today, Brian?
I do. We've gone on way longer than we usually do. Huh?
Oh, well, yes, we have.
Well, this just reminds me, this quote I thought was very apropos given what's going on in the marketplace these days. And here's a quote from Frank Zappa. I know, the Mothers
Believe
of Invention guy. Yeah. The records my mom had that I was like, this guy is a clown.
Right.
But he was a pretty smart guy. Here's the quote. Your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open.
So if you've decided this is what you believe and that's how it's going to be, close. You need to open that back up and let's see what other ways we could look at that. Start experimenting. I hope this helps you do that.
Well, I think if we apply it to the Amazon space, we've seen a lot of things change over the years. And we've seen a lot of people like just tap out. I'm not doing this anymore. Right?
Right, sure.
This doesn't work for me anymore. And there could be plenty of good reasons behind.
And we've seen it as many or more that have started since then and never knew the difference that was changed.
Exactly. So
Take advantage of the best parts of those changes.
If your mind's not open to how to adjust to these changes, then you could be one of those people who's like, this doesn't work for me anymore. If your mind is open, then you can adapt and adjust and pivot.
Right. Don't give up on your dream. Just look at it in a different way.
That's right.
And what's the action we need to take if we're having trouble seeing progress, Brian?
Oh, we have to test more ASINs.
Let's go test more
Let's go test more ASINs. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
Hey, thanks for joining us for today's episode. But before I let you go, let's spend a couple minutes with a good friend of mine, Jeff Schick of jeffschick.com. Of course, if you've listened for a while, you know he is the resident expert that we love around here for all things Amazon policy, Walmart, legal, e-commerce, anything along those lines. Man, they've seen it. They've done it. They're serving hundreds of our listeners with excellence for many, many years. So I'm always excited to see what he's got on his mind. He always teaches us something useful. What's up these days, Jeff? What are you seeing, man?
So what's on my mind this week is buyer seller messaging. So a lot of times we'll see posts where people will say like, "Oh, this cease and desist letter came in through buyer seller messaging, and therefore I can ignore it because it's probably from another seller." That's one possible answer. Or it came in from buyer seller messaging, so they're not a serious brand, so I don't have to worry about the threat. And so it's really what the whole point of the to talk about is that is to think about buyer seller messaging as an early warning system. Is it as official as a cease and desist letter showing up by certified mail or by FedEx? Of course not. It's not. It doesn't care. It's not. No one would say that it's as serious, but it still can have far-reaching consequences, because the interesting thing about the brands that tend to do what I call self-help measures through buyer seller messaging is that those brands are likely to file the false IP complaints that get someone's account suspended because they don't know what they're doing. So, an interesting fun fact about Voorhees is that they may send a lot of scary letters, but their brands generally don't file IP complaints against sellers. On the other side of the spectrum, the companies that do send cease and desist letters, or that send, via buyer seller messaging, or now we're seeing some by text message, even coming from law firms. Those are real threats to think about, because those brands are the most likely to then escalate it to, false IP complaints against a seller. And while those are treatable, they sometimes can cause businesses to get shut down in the process.
So what I'm hearing so far is, even if the scary message comes through Amazon messaging, it doesn't mean you can safely ignore it, which is kind of some of the popular sweeping advice that you'll see in the Facebook groups and such. And anytime you see universal advice, there's nuance to everything. So that's why I love having you guys on retainer, Jeff, is we'll just send it to you. It's like when I get a letter from the IRS, I don't even open it. I just send it to my accountant who's been in the business for years. Same thing with Amazon policy, legal, stuff like this. Just send it to you guys. And most of the time, I got to say, yeah, you can ignore that. But sometimes it's like, you know what, we might want to back off of that particular ASIN or that brand. You might want to, shelve them for a while. We were hearing some things.
Exactly.
So I love that. I love that advice today, that general sweeping advice that says, you could ignore messaging. There's no way to prove it's actually the brand anyway. It's not necessarily good policy, is it?
No, it's not. It's good if you don't care about the person who you're giving the advice to. I'll put it that way.
Right.
But
I love it.
yeah.
Well, that is really good to know. So Amazon does allow, or at least it accommodates brands that reach out to sellers through their own messaging system. And some of those could actually be legit. Although I have heard those cases, man, where it's just another seller trying to scare someone. And it's hard to know the difference sometimes. But that's why we got you guys on retainer to help discern. All right. Well, anything else along these lines? I think we kind of made our point, but anything else that you're seeing that we need to know about along these lines?
I guess one thing I'd clarify too about the whole buyer seller messaging is that technically it is a violation of Amazon terms of service to send those messages via buyer seller messaging. But even though it may be against terms of service, it's not stopping the brands from doing it. And that's why I always tell people, if the brand is willing to violate terms of service doing that, what else are they willing to violate? And usually it's brand registry terms of service next. So that's, that's where we always say, hey, just because they broke a rule doesn't mean you can ignore it, because that's between them and Amazon. But if they broke that rule, what else are they willing to break? So
yes, exactly. And on this too, one of the lessons you taught me, I think this is the add-on little tip. See if I get this one right, Jeff. But I know my team and we stopped messaging other sellers entirely, ever, through the system, just because you are potentially opening up a bit of a can of worms to message another seller and say, hey, what are you doing with this ASIN? Or you're not supposed to do that. You are not the Amazon seller police. Don't try to be. Don't contact other sellers informing them when they violated policy, because that can be a black mark on you. I think that's a good tag on. Am I stating that correctly?
No, you're 100% correct there, because we have had sellers get suspended because they thought they were being helpful by telling another seller that they were breaking policy, and then the other seller reported them to Amazon, and then Amazon said that you were intentionally harming or harassing another vendor on the platform.
Yeah, intimidating someone else, right or wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Let Amazon be the Amazon police. You are not deputized.
Right. It is their business and their decision making. Right. That's all that matters in there.
That's good stuff. A couple of really good tips for folks today. I really appreciate you, Jeff. And for those who don't know, let me just remind you, jeffschick.com is where you want to go. Put these guys on retainer, a few dollars per month. Could save you thousands if you run into a legal situation, and you can bounce all these things past them. He's got such a great team, and we just love working with you. Thanks for sponsoring the show, Jeff.
You're welcome. Thank you.
See you next week, right?
Sounds good. We'll be here.
Bye for now.